So, what we're gonna do next is a fun little segment of call-outs before drawing chips. So, let me finish. Jesus Christ. So, here's how this is gonna work. I'm gonna limit it to 3 call-outs because then I already had to take the chips out. So, if you're gonna be first, okay? Calm down. So up to 3 call-outs. Steven has already claimed 1 because he already raised his hand. He already knew what I was gonna say. So if you want to call anyone out, aside, like not in the bracket, like you are deciding who you want to go in against in top 32, I'm giving now 2 more options. So Steven, and if you kind of should accept or you get called out. So
whoever calls out, do they get to choose lead or follow, or do they automatically?
No, that goes by the.
Okay.
So,
If I call someone trying to go against each other?
Steven wants to call someone out, and who do you want to call out? Chris Rios. There you go. So, the first battle of top 32 is going to be Steven Tassinero against Chris Rios. So I have 2 more, if we want to, which we should, 2 more call-outs that we can do. So does anyone else want to call anyone else out? Oh, Harley. Huh? He's judging. Oh, I want to call out Tommy. No, have a drift man run.
Well, you're calling somebody. You got it.
Do you want to call someone out? All right, so that.
Yeah, come on.
Call someone out. Do it.
What?
Be a man. Be a man, Dustin.
Dustin, call me out, dude. I like everybody. I'm friends with everybody.
Just because you like them doesn't mean you don't want to beat them.
I'm going to get to try with everybody. It'll be great. Does anybody want to call me? I call out James because the other way. Yeah, right.
Well, one. Who do you want to drive against? Okay, so Edwin and Ryan. Ryan Yater. It's Yeater now. Don't care what you said. Yeet. All right, so Steven Tassinero, Chris Rios, battle number 1. Edwin Pabon and Ryan Yeater will be battle number 2. One last call out. One more call out. Ooh. Okay, our final call out is Matt Schulman against Ryan Acevedo. Now we are number 9s. Andrew Grindle and Drew Harrell. Who drove? Huh? Tampa? All right, you lead or follow? All right. Drew is chasing Andrew Grindle first. Yeah, Andrew Grindle. All right, number 10s.
Returning king, so we'll see if he'll be able to take that spot. We have several heavy hitters. Andrew Grindle is another heavy hitter that's been landing second place several times in some past events. So he's got his eye on the number 1 spot, but of course, Chris Rios wants to reclaim that crown. Exciting night. If you have not been to a King of OSW event, you're in for a real treat. This is probably the premier drift event here in Central Florida. Actually, I'd probably say almost all of Florida. Currently, this is the place to be. As you can see, we got a pretty full house out here. It's a whole weekend of drifting. Black Friday Drift is like a tradition here in Orlando at OSW, and it's exciting to see everybody come back out. And our next battle is Drew versus Andrew Grindle. It's a Drew battle. It's a battle of the Druids as they make their way through the course. Grindle out front, Drew giving chase. But Grindle really run nice and wide. Drew almost coming into the door of Grindle as they made their way through that second outside zone. Both cars transitioning around and working their way towards that final outer zone. Nice and smooth. Grindle placing second, I believe, in the last 2 Kings of OSW. So Andrew Grindle really wants this. I mean, I do believe he placed second the last 2 rounds. So he's got inches from the kingship. He wants that crown. And now with Chris Rios back in the mix, We'll see. Will Chris be able to reclaim that title, or will Andrew
Grindle,
finally take home that
Grindle
#1
really
spot?
Run nice and wide. Drew almost coming into the door of Grindle as they made their way through that second outside zone. Both cars transitioning around and working their way towards that final outer zone. Nice and smooth.
Drew Harrell
Grindle
coming to us from Tampa.
placing second, I believe, in the last two
Levi's
games
300.
of OSW.
Say sponsored by Toyota. We'll see. That'd be a nice sponsor. Of course, Andrew Grindle, a local not too far away from Oviedo, in that C6 Kensei Racing Wheel Chevy Corvette. Here we go. Out back at it again. Change of positions. Drew out front this time. Andrew Grindle giving chase. Andrew seems to have the advantage, one could say, after that last run. Can Drew put down a nice solid lead run, and will Grindle make a mistake? But my goodness, Grindle right on the back of Drew's IS300. Wow, Drew throwing a lot of angle coming into this final outer section here. Both drivers transitioning. Drew getting nice and wide, but Grindle right there with him. Step by, whoa! Oh my goodness. Give it up for Andrew Grindle and Drew Harrell. Out back at it again. Who will it be? Positions. As you watch that live stream replay right there, you can see Grindle. I mean, he's just putting the car right where it needs to be. And it does look like we already have an official decision. It will be Grindle. Andrew Grindle going to advance on.
My goodness, Grindle
taking
right
out Drew.
Drew's
Andrew Grindle, he's going to have to do battle against the winner of the next
section here. Both drivers transitioning. Drew
two drivers will be Cam or Maxwell.
Right there with him. Step by, whoa! Oh my goodness.
There's Ben Used Miata parts. This is actually Ben's Used Miata. So not only can you get Ben's Used Miata parts, you can get Ben's Used Miatas and possibly take out the competition. Big shout out to Ben Julian. Really miss him out, out here competing. But we got the next best thing. We got a Ben's Used Miata. Andrew Grindle out front, throwing it in. Oh my goodness, Andrew filling out that first outside zone, but Ben's Used Miata is out there being piloted by Cam. And Cam, wow, he's really making use of all that little Miata out there. He's really trying to apply that pressure. Now does he make the do a pilot? Whoa, look at Cam. Just almost diving in for the attack. But Andrew, oh no! A major correction there by Cam. And Andrew Grindle, he's had that #2 spot too many times. Andrew Grindle wants that throne. He's missed that throne the last two competition, finishing second place. So as you can tell, he's all in. As we're watching the instant replay, Andrew Grindle doing a great job completely filling out that first outside zone. Cam Nunez in Ben's Used Miata, sponsored by Ben's Used Miata parts, making full use of that vehicle. I'm sure he's making Ben proud, but right there, almost looked like a major bobble or straighten out in that end of the power out, and causing the dive way in offline.
He's had that #2 spot too many times.
Anything can happen. They're going to switch positions. Cam is now going to lead, and Andrew Grindle will have to give chase. And we're working our way almost through this top 16 competition. Here we go. Cam out front, Andrew Grindle going to apply that pressure. Both cars flicking it in to that first outside zone. Andrew Grindle starting to dive in for the attack, trying to reel in Cam. The transition into that second outside zone. And there we go. Look at Andrew Grindle putting out all those ponies right into the window there of that little Miata. He's trying to intimidate Cam in that little Ben's Used Miata as they both transition. Andrew Grindle almost door to door with Cam Nunez. Give it up for Cam Nunez and Andrew Grindle. To that first outside zone, Andrew Grindle starting to dive in for the attack, trying to reel in Cam. The transition into that second outside zone. There we go. Look, Andrew Grindle. Andrew Grindle gets the win. Putting out Andrew Grindle gets the win. Ponies right into the window there of that little taking Miata. Out Cam. Andrew Grindle versus David White. Andrew Grindle's going to be in his Chevy Corvette. David White in that little Miata that can. Andrew Grindle from Oviedo, Florida. Say it, Oviedo? Okay, thank you for that correction. Oviedo. That's wrong too? Oviedo. All right, here we go. Andrew out front as I check my grammar. David White in the chase position. Andrew, nice lead run as they make their way through that first outer zone. Smooth transition by both drivers as they approach that second outer zone. And Andrew Grindle putting down a clinic of how to run a lead run. But both drivers through the power line. Look at David White diving in for the attack. He wants that victory. Andrew Grindle wants that crown. Who will take it? Look at David poking through the smoke right there with Andrew Grindle. Give it up for David White and Andrew Grindle. Ah, it's so amazing. Wow. All right, I love it. This is great. Andrew out front as I check my grammar. David White in the chase position. Andrew, nice lead run as they make their way through that first outer zone. Smooth transition by both drivers as they approach that second outer zone. And Andrew Grindle putting down
as the judges kind of looking over every inch of that replay, trying to see if there was any bobbles. It was an amazing run by both drivers. And in a run like this where they're battling as hard as they are, they're really going to pick apart the run to be able to decide a winner. Andrew Grindle wants that number one spot. He's had 2 second-place finishes back-to-back at the last two King of OSWs. So he's hungry. He wants to take that number one spot. But he's got to get past Dave White, and Dave is just on fire in that little Miata. Speaking of Miatas, check out Ben's Used Miata Parts for all your Miata needs. Whether it's a part for a Miata or it's a whole car, you can find it at Ben's Used Miata Parts or Ben's Used Miatas. Oh, God, man, this is why I can't chew on camera. Damn it. Don't worry, I'll make do. I just got a nice barbecue rib sample brought to my table. I know it's delicious. It's mouth-watering. But I have to do my job first. And here we go. Andrew Grindle, David White out front. David White in that little blue Miata. Andrew Grindle in that monstrous red Chevy Corvette trying to chase down that little Miata. Look at David White run a nice wide line there as they make their way through the power out. And oh my goodness, Andrew Grindle, he's in it to win it as he applies that pressure to David White. Both vehicles making their way into that final section. Final transition as they flick it through David White. Andrew Grindle, give it up for these two drivers. Oh my goodness, who can choose a winner? I don't want to be a judge right now. Because either way, somebody's going to be upset. Look at this replay. Nice. David White, nice wide line. Andrew Grindle, though, right there, step by step. With a lead run like that, it makes it easy for that chase driver to dive in, be confident in the chase position. And oh my goodness, very close, but Grindle, very close, but Grindle gets the win. Grindle gets the win. I know, yeah. Let us hear how you feel. Submit all comments to. Forget it. Never mind. That's all right. But he's going to have to get past Pedro. And here we go. Pedro giving chase. Andrew Grindle out front. Andrew just ripping it down the straight. Nice, deep into that first outside zone. Pedro's got to close that gap, and he does. Transitioning into that second outer zone. Both drivers locking in there, locking in that angle. Now back on the throttle as they make their way through the power alley. Grindle pulling away slightly. Pedro's got to close that gap. Unfortunately, starting to drop back slightly. Andrew Grindle may have the advantage going into the second half of this battle. Pedro able to close the gap towards the end. Give it up for Andrew Grindle and Pedro. Valiant effort by Pedro, but unfortunately dropping back slightly throughout the course. Seemingly from the start, Andrew Grindle kind of pulled away, giving him the advantage. Transitioning into that second outer zone, leaving it up to Pedro to try to close that gap throughout the course. He does a good job past that second outer zone, but as they transition through that power alley, Andrew Grindle pulls out nice and wide, but Pedro kind of shallows up, taking an inside line to close that gap. As they finally transition, come off the course, it does appear that Andrew Grindle may have a slight advantage. If he wins, he will battle Chris Rios. So the winner of this battle will face
Chris Rios. The loser will face Joseph for a third and fourth place battle. It could be Chris Rios versus Andrew Grindle. Andrew wants that number one spot. He doesn't want to take second place again. Here we go, making our way down the straight. Pedro out front. Andrew Grindle giving chase. They're on the final four, folks, as Pedro runs nice and wide. Whoa! Grindle way inside. Almost passing. Oh, my goodness. Grindle really running the odd, narrow line. Oh, my goodness. He's trying to apply all that pressure to Pedro. Forces a mistake out of Pedro. But Andrew really just dialed in. I mean, he is all over. Andrew Grindle just all over. Oh, no! Oh, no! Oh, my goodness. What is going on? Andrew making a major mistake through that final outer zone and giving the win to Pedro. Wow, Andrew Grindle, he didn't want to take home second, but he may take home third. Unfortunately, Andrew Grindle is going to have to battle out for third and fourth. Pedro going against the returning or former king, Chris Rios. He's not the reigning king. The reigning king, Sean Booth, did not make an appearance, unfortunately. But Chris Rios is one more battle away from reclaiming his throne in that VIP Burger King line that comes with it. Those $500 in ones line just a crown. There is a lot of giveaways, a lot of gift cards. And here we go. As you see, we got Andrew Grindle. This is our third and fourth place battle versus Joseph. Oh my goodness. As these drivers both make their way around the course. Grindle out back. Joseph in the lead position. Joseph kind of running a little bobble there, but Grindle's right. Whoa, my goodness. Grindle's right there, side by side, as they make their way off the course. Give it up for Joseph and Andrew Grindle. It is a fierce battle. I mean, as you see, this is the battle for third. Andrew Grindle. This is our third and fourth place battle versus. Unfortunately, he has taken Joseph. Second place the last two rounds. Not going to get second or first this time, but at least he can walk away with third. But he's going to have to get past Joseph if he wants to make that a reality. Joseph in the lead position. Joseph kind of running a little bobble there, but Grindle's Joseph right. Whoa, my goodness, from Orlando right there, in that 370Z that Ford Tapper GM works. Course. Give it up for Nissan. Joseph. And of course, Andrew Grindle. In that C6 Kansei wheels Chevy Corvette. Once again, this is the battle for third. Grindle's going to lead. Joseph's going to give chase. And we are almost finished with our competition, folks. Hopefully you had an amazing time out here and you plan to stay and hang out with everybody as they make their way down the straight. Andrew Grindle out front. Joseph not too far behind Andrew. Nice wide line through that first outer zone as both cars transition. Look at Joseph applying that pressure. Running a nice in the pocket is Joseph. Behind Andrew Grindle. Andrew Grindle trying to run away, but Joseph is all over him as they make their way through the final section of the course. Everything Andrew does just he can't get away from Joseph as they make their way off the course. Give it up for Andrew Grindle and Joseph. That was a great battle for third right there, folks. Andrew Grindle out front. Joseph not too far behind Andrew. Nice wide line through that first outer zone. We're not going to announce the winners quite yet. I believe we're going to wait until the end. In the pocket, and we'll pull all four of them out. Joseph behind Andrew Grindle. Andrew Grindle trying to run away, but Joseph is all over him. You're looking at the live stream replay. You can see both these drivers want it. They want it bad. And this is just a battle for third. Our next battle for first. Chris Rios versus Pedro Signini take out Chris Rios. Chris Rios didn't make the initial cut, but luck would have it. He'd claim a spot. Chris Rios out front. Give it up for these two drivers as this is our final battle for the king the crown of King of OSW as Chris Rios pulling slightly away there through that first outside zone. Pedro, oh no! A major correction from Pedro in the chase position. May have just handed the crown over to Chris Rios. Finally getting back in position, diving in for the attack, bringing home a cone, trying to take home a souvenir. Give it up for Chris Rios and Pedro Signini. Judges are going to want to look at that replay, see exactly what happened in that back quarter. It's hard to tell. It's so dark out there, but Chris Rios, nice. Probably could get a little deeper through that first outside zone, but nice and smooth. Both drivers transitioning in this replay, but wow, Pedro way inside, and unfortunately, just putting himself in the wrong position. You can get aggressive, but sometimes you can get too aggressive, and it's going to bite you back. And unfortunately, it looks like Pedro got a little too aggressive in the chase position.
Bringing home a cone.
So, oh my goodness.
Trying to take home a souvenir.
Chris Rios, one run away from possibly reclaiming that throne. And here we go. Give it up for these drivers. When they make their way down the straight, I want you to cheer them in. I know you're tired. I know you're a little cold, but make sure they can hear you. This is the final run of the King of OSW here at Black Friday Drift. Potentially, finally. We'll see. We shall see. I want to thank Cosmo Tires, Aero K, Ben's Used Me Auto Parts, Scotty D, and Grip Royal for partnering up with Drift Sessions here at the King of OSW Black Friday Drift. There can be only one crown to rule them all. Chris Rios from Melbourne, Florida. Sponsored by Drift Sessions, Billy Mitchell Racing, and Fully Sent is one step closer to claiming his throne, but he's going to have to get past Pedro Signini from São Paulo, Brazil, in his pink 370Z, representing TF Club. And I can see, looks like they're locked and loaded at the line. All right, folks, give it up for these two drivers as they make their way down the straight. Here we go. Pedro out front. Chris Rios diving in the pocket, trying to get door to door with Pedro inches away during the transition. Chris Rios maintaining calm, cool composure. Pedro, nice lead run by Pedro, but it may be too little too late as both drivers approach the final section of the course. Chris Rios trying to maintain in the pocket there, having to work that left foot brake. Oh, wow, I don't know, this is kind of shaky. It could go one more time. Give it up for Pedro Signini and Chris Rios. Pedro Signini coming to us all the way from São Paulo, Brazil. It is TF Club 370Z, battling his way through the competition, trying to get that number one spot, but our returning, not reigning, but our returning former king, Chris Rios. And of course, you can see Joseph out there as well, taking third place. And then Andrew Grindle taking home fourth. All right, give it up for these three drivers, folks. Let them hear you loud and proud. One of these drivers is going to be the King of OSW. So our first place winner is waiting for the announcement, and I'm going to have to go with you guys because I don't know the answer. I wasn't told. I'll watch you on the camera. Approach the first place. Approach the king. All hail the new king of OSW. All hail Chris Rios takes home the throne yet again. He's so happy. Burger King is so much sweeter all of a sudden. And Dustin wins too. He always wins. As we see Chris Rios chanting, all the peasants coming forward, congratulating their new king. And that means Pedro will take second place. Congratulations to Pedro Signini, all the way from San Paulo for second place. But a two-time king, Chris Rios, reclaiming his throne. I see a tear shedding. I see lots of hugs and dancing. Even second place is happy. Guys, give it up for these drivers. One last round of applause.
I'm done now. I finished it. Okay, tight. Thank you. I got you. You saved my life twice.
King of OSW, always rescuing people.
I know, bro.
For the community.
He fixed my car so I can battle him, and then broke it, and he's fixing my car again so I can drive for fun.
That's crazy. He just breaks my shit. He doesn't fix anything.
Well,
You have money, though.
I didn't get a chance to battle you to break shit.
I heard you had 3 boxes of pizza.
Yeah, on myself.
Bro, I saw you eat pizza last night.
It's the only key to the
Is
size.
that in your diet?
Yeah, that's how why
said-
he's so buff.
He said it's my cheat day, and then he eats 3 boxes of pizza.
It's carb loading
Or
day.
pineapple.
All the pizza.
That lame ass pineapple. Delicious.
How's your car?
Don't ask me.
His car's great.
How's your car?
So, appearance-wise, complete dog shit. Performance-wise, couldn't be better.
A-okay.
Clearly performing.
A-okay.
No performance issues.
No performance issues.
Didn't
As
that
long
car
as
come
there's
in
a
with no
full
dents?
tank.
Didn't that car come in with no dents?
Yes.
No dents.
It came in literally
Fresh.
perfect.
Didn't
That
make
look
it
dead.
Yeah.
Oh my god. What happened to the corners?
Well, why don't you look at the whole car?
Whoa, what happened to the corners though? Why is it so big?
So Chris Rios borrowed Alex's car, 370, for the King of OSW and won it. But this car came in here without any dents on it.
Oh, keep going. Keep going. Wow.
Keep going.
Wow.
Oh my
The
god.
caster. Something's messed up and it just works.
Good thing you won new coils to put on.
Yeah. There wasn't one dent in this bitch. Wow.
It's a good car though. Logan broke his Z2.
Oh, okay.
Bro, those wheels are nice. Where'd you get them wheels?
Some fucking scamming ass.
These
dude. I don't know.
37s?
You got a
That
free
35.
back bar with the win, bro.
Yeah, you know, this guy hooked it up. I got some Bronco wheels on the GX, you know, it goes hard.
These can be studded.
No lift yet.
Yeah, they have stud things.
That's dope.
For our icy roads that we have.
Oh, yeah,
back.
for the rigging.
What do you need, Logan?
Rear hub.
Okay. So Logan had a 370Z that he traded for 2 350Zs, and he was out on track and all of his wheel studs ripped out. Crazy. That's a new one. I don't think I've seen that one before. But it's Sunday, day 3 of Black Friday. It was a good time. Last night's competition for King of OSW was fun. I definitely messed up to my own error. Car was dialed in and I just threw too many things at once at it. Got way too gripped up. So screwed myself, but it was a good time. Ended up 4th. So, but Chris took the win And we've just been driving around today, fun day, just on some fun tires and having a good time, getting a bunch of tandems in, just unlimited seat time right now. We're just hot lapping like crazy. So, car is doing good. It started leaking fuel again, but I fixed it. Found out the issue was the intake manifold was not bolted down all the way, and the fuel rail sits on the intake manifold. So it was actually just lifting the whole fuel rail up, and the injectors are attached to the heads instead, so it's just separating. So it should be good now. We'll drive around and test it out.
Just let a man breathe and just hush so my mind could just cease, so my mind on the run. At times I feel I can't get enough, but I sip a double cup and I spill a couple drugs. Sending out some love to my blood, to my girl, to my buds, to the holy up above. And no more time for picking up to these fakes who ain't around when the times getting rough. 6 million ways to die, so I spit into this truth when I break the lies. Everybody wanna talk, but all I hear is lies. Everybody been fake, all I see in their eyes. 6 million ways to die, so I spit into this truth when I break the lies. Everybody wanna talk, but all I hear is lies. Everybody been fake, all I see in their eyes.
Loved you till my tears went silent. If this is war, I don't think I can fight it. Had to let you go, let it flow, cry